Does it?
I have to wait for that.
That's good.
Hi, everyone. My name's Haley Brewer. I am the Communications Manager for the Peoria Area Chamber of Commerce. I am here today with Jill Grube, a realtor with Keller Williams Premier Realty, and we're going to talk a little bit about the housing market
Yes.
for today. So I asked you a little bit earlier, but we're in a buyer's market, correct?
Yes, we are. So it's a great market. It's a great time to be in real estate, whether you're buying or selling. But we are in a buyer's market from a standpoint of we have a lot of inventory out there. But it's still a great, even though we have a lot of inventory, it's still nice to list your house, I guess. So it's still okay to do that because we have a lot of ready and willing buyers. So it's just such a great time to be in real estate. Even though we had a snowstorm, we're gonna have it's been really nice. So yeah, it's been good.
So what's it like selling real estate in today's market? Would you say that it's harder? Is it
It's there's still stress, right? It's challenging, and you have to sometimes get creative or think outside the box. You have to be proactive, and I feel like you have to do that in any business. But I believe you have to go find your business at times, because and a nice example would be the CAT program, right? It affected very little of our market, but it affected our community as a whole in such a big way that it brought out a lot of people that may or may not be buying or may not be selling, but this CAT program really brought people kind of out of the woodwork to really kind of say, oh, what's going on? Maybe I would consider buying or maybe I would consider selling. So in today's market, it's I'd say it's more challenging because we have a lot of realtors in Central Illinois, and we have a lot of talent. I mean, a lot of great realtors out there, but it's just you sometimes just have to go after the business, get a little more aggressive at times.
That makes sense. Can you, for our viewers and anybody who may be watching this later, do you have any helpful tips for selling or listing your home?
So I always recommend if you're thinking about selling or listing to declutter your house. So if you're going to sell in 3 to 6 months or in a month, or you wanna list tomorrow, I would go through your house and declutter it. And you have to get it show ready or photo ready, I call it, where when we come in and we talk to you about selling your home, that will probably be a number one thing when we look around to say, you're going to want to clean up, you're going to want to declutter, take the things off the counter. And it's also a good time where when you do declutter, you can take it to your local Goodwill and do some donations. So it's a win-win from that standpoint. Bathrooms, kitchens, even the curb appeal, the front door, it's all a big deal. But on the other part of it, don't put a lot of money in your house because you're not going to get back 100% of what you put into it. So if it's cosmetic touch-ups, painting the trim, maybe freshening up the paint, absolutely, I recommend it. Doing a full-blown remodel, and I just don't recommend that from a financial return on investment. But yeah, it's all through the discussion of your realtor and whatnot. But yeah, decluttering, the curb appeal. What's your landscaping look like? What's your neighborhood? When I drive up, am I like, wow, this is a great house? Or do I drive up and go, man, I'd paint this, I'd do this, I'd put this there. If you're already making changes when you pull up to your house or the buyer, you might want to kind of consider maybe touching it up a little bit. And everybody's house is wonderful to them. Everyone's prideful, lots of memories in there. You've lived there for a long time, but you do kind of want to think about, if I were going to buy my own house, you want to have an honest perspective on, what you would change or what someone would say about it. And it's still a tough discussion, but the idea is we do want to sell it, and we do want to sell it at a fair price and quickly, of course. So, yeah.
This is kind of a crazy question, but what is the craziest thing you've ever seen when you've shown a house or went to look at it for the first time? Has there been anything like super weird?
There's definitely been some weird smells.
Interesting. Lovely.
we'll just keep it at that.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen, holes in the kitchen ceiling where there's been like, obviously there's water damage from the roof. There's just, sometimes I walk in and I go, do they really want to sell because of, or you look at the photos and you're in the bathroom and you see the roll of toilet paper on the photo and the seat up or whatever, and you're like, do you really want to sell? So I absolutely love it to go to these different homes and to see every home is different, and to see, especially like with my clients or maybe with the sellers of what they like. So what I might like, you might think
Right.
is crazy. Or we might walk in a house and I go, oh my gosh, that is, and you're going, I love it. And I'm like, absolutely. So you got to kind of, adapt to who you're with from a standpoint of everybody has different tastes, everybody lives differently. But yeah, the smells have really caught me off guard at times.
I love it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
Very fun. So how long have you been a realtor?
Just about 2 years. And so it's been a wonderful 2 years. I've really enjoyed it. Even though I'm, I guess, young in the career, my dad is in real estate as well. That just by watching him, I feel like I've kind of grown up with it and learned a lot from it. So, but I think it's such a fascinating industry, and because it's different every day, and you meet some great people, and you get to basically fulfill a dream for them. Because buying a house is very personal. It's a big investment, and it takes a lot. It's a very emotional kind of decision. Like you have to want to live somewhere for the rest of your life, or maybe the next 5 to 7 years, and to be a part of that is pretty fantastic. And to see when you go through and you do showings and whatnot, and you can see when they found the one, it's pretty great. It's pretty great. So yeah,
That's cool. What were you doing before this?
so I was in the restaurant world, and yes. So I've got a little bit of a cooking background and whatnot, and it's kind of nice because it's a good transition because I owned restaurants and I was a chef, and I still dabble in that a little bit, but I felt like it was a very smooth transition from the restaurant world because you meet a lot of different people in the hospitality world. It's all about customer service, similar with real estate, and it's about relationships. You have to be able to adapt to everyone and treat everyone with kindness of where they want to go with it, and what they want to do, and be patient, of course, because you typically don't find your dream home in one showing.
Right.
And even though they may love it, they want to make sure there isn't anything else out there. So, so the restaurant world required all that. So it's like I felt like I learned a lot of skills in that hospitality industry that I'm bringing over into my current career.
And what was it that made you decide to make that change?
Well, there's still stress involved on both sides, but this is kind of a different stress, a little bit more freedom. We have crazy hours, so both have crazy hours. But the restaurant world has changed a lot when it came to, from my standpoint, whether it was an operational costs, employment. You couldn't find a lot of people from that standpoint. But I just felt it was time to move on. I felt like I had done everything that I wanted to do in it. I traveled a lot with this career. It opened up so many doors, windows, you name it, opportunities. And it really molded me to who I am today to be able to do this career. So to jump over from that standpoint was kind of a no-brainer for me because I still am independent. I still have my own business. My success is how much I want to put into it and what I want to do with it. So it was very similar, but now I'm just I have a lot more freedom now. The restaurant world, you're kind of caught there. You have business hours, of course. Even though you own it and you have that freedom, you're open 6, 7 days a week, all the holidays. I mean, you name it. So when I left the restaurant world to have a holiday off, I didn't know what to do with myself. You know, I'm like,
Crazy.
so, what do we do
Time to go to
today?
work.
What do we do on this Thanksgiving?
That's awesome. Well, Jill, so if I'm somebody watching and I think I gotta get my house listed right now,
Okay.
how can people find you?
Well, of course, you can call or text me. My number's 309-369-1938.
Texter.
So you can call or text. Text is the way things happen these days sometimes. I'm also on social media, and you can find me on Facebook. If you just type in my name, Jill Grube, Keller Williams Premier Realty, you'll be able to find me. And so it's pretty easy, and I think that's a couple ways to find me. But I'm around. You can find me.
Perfect. Find her. Yes, definitely.
yeah.
Thank you for being here, Jill.
Oh.
I feel like we really learned a lot.
Oh, thank you.
I feel like I did.
Thank
Yay.
you. I appreciate the opportunity. This has been great. So.
Yay. Everybody find her, text her, call her, stalk her on social media. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
PeoriaLife.com